Okay, hello everyone. I'm James from DoraHacks. Great to have everyone back to the BUIDL Battle Workshop series with Stacks. I'm joined today by Eric, who's DevRel at Hiro. How's it going, Eric?
Good.
Nice. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed the previous workshops that we've had. They've been really great. We've had some top speakers. Today, we're going to be focusing on Buy Me a Coffee with sBTC. As it's 6 p.m. and I'm in the UK, I'd rather people bought me a pint of IPA with some sBTC, but whatever works. Happy to hand over to you in a minute, Eric. For anyone who's got any questions, you can put them in the comments section and we should be able to ask them to Eric at the end. Alternatively, you can find the Telegram group, which is advertised on the DoraHacks hackathon page. So just find that and ask any questions that you have later on. The team will get back to you. Just a quick reminder, the BUIDL Battle Hackathon is live now. There's 11 days left for submission, and we've got a 90K prize pool. So super pumped to be supporting more BTC ecosystem hackathons with Stacks and all of the sponsors and partners as well. Eric, I think that's enough from me talking. So the floor is yours.
For sure. Thank you. Hey guys, my name is Eric. I am a DevRel at Hiro. At Hiro, we build developer tools for the Stacks ecosystem, as well as the general Bitcoin L2 space. And today, I'll be showing you and going through some of the ways that you can build with sBTC on Stacks. One of the examples that I'll be showing is a variation of a Buy Me a Coffee app that I'll show in a few minutes. But essentially, the general premise of this chat right now will just be about showing you how you can build with sBTC on Stacks in a few different ways using some of the developer tools that we build here at Hiro. So I guess, to kind of, I'm not sure, what your current knowledge is of sBTC or whatever, but as a preface, why build with sBTC, right? So sBTC is a one-to-one Bitcoin-backed token on Stacks. It is faster, cheaper, and has access to the Web3 economy on Stacks. And that entails being able to participate in DeFi, NFTs, SocialFi, and so on and so forth. Everything that you can do in Web3 on Stacks, you can use your sBTC as the starting point for yourself or for the users that you're building your application for. Now, some of the ideas that you can use to work with sBTC or build something with sBTC, that ranges with a lot of different creative ideas that we currently see in the ecosystem. One of them being one of the biggest DeFi platforms called Zest. They have a lending and borrowing opportunity that you can use with sBTC. Last week, I was in Denver for the ETH Denver week, and we were participating in a hackathon where we saw a few different developers create some brilliant ideas for applications powered by sBTC. One of them being is a tipping platform using sBTC to tip their favorite DJs. Another one was a decentralized insurance platform where the payouts and premiums are all based on sBTC. So you can imagine the use case is there was a plethora of use cases where you can use your sBTC, because at the end of the day, sBTC is just a representation of your native Bitcoins. And with Bitcoins itself, you can do a lot more with it than just letting it sit in cold storage. sBTC is essentially a SIP10 fungible token on Stacks. This means that you can use it as you would with any other token on Stacks. SIP10 is kind of like the, fungible token standard on Stacks that allows wallets and applications to use these tokens in a standardized way. And then so going back to what I wanted to show you with the Buy Me a Coffee application, we can kind of pull it up now. I'm running it locally, so I'll pull it up on my local host. Yeah, so like I said before, this is just a simple variation of a Buy Me a Coffee app with a slight twist of purchasing Satoshi coffee with sBTC. You can read more about the premise and the the theme as to why this is themed the way it is in the repo that I can share later. But essentially with this application, it will allow you to have your users use and make payments with sBTC. So if I go ahead and connect my wallet, okay, and I'll make sure it's just that my wallet is using the mainnet network. All right, so yeah, on this model over here, I can select the amount of Satoshis that I want to use for the payment. Satoshi is just another name for the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin. So a Satoshi on Bitcoin is just 1 in 100 millionth of a Bitcoin. And that same denomination is also reflected on sBTC as well. So here I'll just select one Satoshi or one sat that I want to send. I'll just state my name as in Pepe. And the message that I want to include in that transaction, I'll just say, I love sBTC. And I'll go ahead and make that transaction. Now this will prompt my wallet to ask me to confirm that transaction. It'll show me the post condition, which will specify how many units of sBTC that I'll be sending, as well as which contract I'm interacting with, and the parameters that are being sent to that contract call. And at the end, you'll see the amount of fees in the stacks that I'll be sending as well. And I'll go ahead and confirm that. And just like that, I have actually made a transaction using sBTC on the mainnet. Now, in a few seconds, that transaction should also reflect at the bottom over here. These are just previous transactions that I've made before. But in a second, you'll see it kind of populate at the bottom over here, showing me the transaction that I made, specifically buying Satoshi coffee. But to go back into the code and to show you how this actually works, it's a lot simpler than it may seem. So in my main file over here, app.view, what you're going to do is install a few different dependencies under the Stacks.js monorepo. Specifically, you want to install Stacks transactions as well as Stacks Connect. So Stacks Connect allows a user to connect their wallet to their application, and Stacks transactions helps you to build that transaction structure for you to broadcast to the network through the wallet. And then so specifically for that actual contract call to transfer your sBTC, you're going to need the request method that comes from the Stacks Connect package. And in the request method, you'll be passing in two different parameters. The first one being the name of the actual specific function that you want to invoke. This one is going to be called STX call contract. And the second parameter are the options that you want to pass into that contract call. So in our case, we want to call the sBTC token contract. This is the actual mainnet contract for sBTC. The function name is called transfer. Function arguments, this one is specifying the amount that I want to send, the sender, the recipient, and the memo. These function arguments also need to be in the same order as they are specified in the actual contract code for this function transfer. And you'll need to convert each one of these values into its corresponding Clarity value using the CL namespace from Stacks transactions. And the other options that you'll need to pass in are the post conditions and the network. And that's it. That is all you would need to make a sBTC transfer in your application, allowing your users to transfer sBTC from one wallet to another wallet. Of course, you know, the example that I showed before, it's a very simplified vanilla example of just sending sBTC to another address. But of course, you can think of the use cases surrounding this can involve a lot more different creative ideas. Now, this is just using sBTC on the front end, right? You're just calling and invoking a user's wallet to send an sBTC to a different recipient. Now, what if you want to use sBTC in your contract development, right? In your Clarity Smart contract development. So let's bring up a Clarinet project that I'm working on over here. If you're unfamiliar with Clarinet, Clarinet is the development framework for building, testing, and deploying your Clarity smart contracts. So Clarinet, I have right now in my contracts folder a very simple NFT contract, which I am first going to be implementing the SIP9 NFT trade contract. This is just the standardized way of creating an NFT on Stacks. A bunch of different constants and variables specified over here, and a few different read-only functions that are basically required for your NFT on Stacks. A simple transfer function, as well as the mint function over here. Now, what's unique is that in this mint function, I'm going to be minting an NFT to the actual contract caller. The NFT is called Whole sBTC Club. I actually got this idea from Kenny, who's a DevRel from the Stacks Foundation. His idea was to, a creative idea of actually having an NFT where only whole sBTC holders can mint themselves. I wish I had one whole sBTC, but for now, this is just going to be for demonstration purposes. This is not going to be on mainnet, so I can pretend to be a sBTC or a one sBTC owner myself on the SIMnet and on the testnet. But in this mint function over here, I'm going to be actually calling the mainnet sBTC token twice. This is the same contract that I used in that front-end application for the Buy Me a Coffee application. So this is the same contract principle. And what's cool in Clarinet is that now you can just use this mainnet address in whatever environment that you want to work in, whether it be in the SIMnet or in the testnet or DevNet. Clarinet will auto-detect this mainnet address, and it will remap it with the proper address based on the network that you want to start working in. So if you're going to be working on the testnet, in the back, Clarinet will remap this to the actual testnet contract of sBTC on testnet. So let's look at an example right now. This is just going to be checking to see if I have at least one whole sBTC. And then this contract call over here is going to be transferring that one sBTC to the contract in order for me to receive that minted NFT, which proves that I am part of the whole sBTC club. So in the SIMnet, we can spin it up. Oh, before I actually spin up the SIMnet, when you want to take advantage of these new sBTC features in Clarinet, you need to add this contract over here as a requirement in the terminal. So using the command clarinet requirements add, and then this principle over here, the contract principle. When you run this command, Clarinet will add this as a requirement to your manifest folder over here. And it's with this specification in the manifest file, Clarinet will know to remap it to whatever network you want to work with. So for now, let's just work with my contract in the SIMnet. So we'll spin up the SIMnet by calling the Clarinet console command. And you can see instantly these wallets over here. These are just funded wallets that you can use to work with your contracts in this REPL environment over here. It's funded with a bunch of stacks as well as a bunch of sBTC tokens, which helps you to work and develop with sBTC tokens on your contract. And from here, you can call your contract functions as you would normally. So we'll specify the contract name, which is sBTC LFG. And the function name that I want to test out is the mint function over here. And the recipient will just be me. So running this command, obviously, yes, cool. It works. It went through. And then just to kind of verify the assets that were changed and sent, let's go and call the get assets maps helper. Yeah, cool. So you can see that my address over here that I used now has one whole sBTC NFT. And I transferred one whole sBTC from my account to the contract account over here, the contract principal. So that's one way where you can use it in the SIMnet. You can also use sBTC in your unit tests as well, because unit tests also use the SIMnet environment. Now, let's say, fast forward, we finish building and testing our contracts, and we want to deploy it to testnet. So when deploying to testnet, let's go ahead and run the command to actually generate a testnet deployment plan. That command would just be Clarinet deployments generate, and you would specify the testnet flag as well as the deployment transaction fee amount or level that you want, that you're willing to actually spend to deploy your contracts. In my case, I'll just specify the medium cost flag. And then cool. So I've generated a testnet deployment plan. In your deployments folder, let's go ahead and open that up. And yep, immediately, if you can see, Clarinet will actually specify certain sBTC contracts to be deployed, but to be deployed and remapped to this principal over here. Now, this principal is actually using the existing sBTC contract on testnet that Hiro has already deployed. This contract is also used for the sBTC faucet on the platform. But essentially, these 3 different requirement publish, you don't have to worry about it. You can just leave it the way it is. Going down now, the next set of transactions are going to be for that NFT trade contract and the actual contract that we made. The NFT trade contract, we can remove this because this contract is already deployed on testnet. So we don't need to deploy it twice. And then for hours over here, yep, it's just going to be deploying my sBTC LFG contract. This is just the NFT contract that I made. And so usually, as a precaution too, I like to increase the cost that I'm willing to kind of pay for this deployment. So I'll just add another digit in the cost option over here. And then so when you're ready to deploy, you can go ahead to the command, Clarinet deployments, apply, and the testnet flag. Okay, we don't want to overwrite it because it's asking us to actually deploy the NFT trade contract, which I don't want to do. I'll say no, and I'll confirm and continue. All right. And so in a few seconds, it should be deployed to the testnet network of stacks. And I'll show you in a second, once after it's deployed, that wherever you specified the sBTC contract in your contracts, so right here, I'm using the mainnet contract for sBTC. You will see in the actual deployed contract, Clarinet will auto-detect this address and remap it with the testnet version. So cool. It's been confirmed on the testnet. Let's go ahead and look it up. Okay, and we will change it to testnet. Awesome. I've been able to deploy my NFT contract. And like I mentioned before, if you look in the source code, hopefully it's big enough, but you can see that Clarinet actually detected the mainnet principal and swapped it in with the testnet principal of the sBTC token contract. So yeah, that's cool. It does it automatically. And from here, we can actually interact with this contract as well. So let's go ahead and mint this whole sBTC Club NFT. We'll go to available functions and mint. But first, in order to mint, obviously, remember, we need to send one whole sBTC to this contract. And you can, if you're just using a brand new address or whatever in your Stacks wallet, obviously, you're not going to be having any tokens. So you can use the sBTC faucet in the Hiro platform. This is the Hiro platform. You'll go ahead and sign in. And in the faucet, you can also request stacks tokens as well. But let's go ahead and request sBTC. You can only request one sBTC at one time. So let's go ahead and change this to testnet. Okay. And I'll grab my testnet address, paste it in here, and receive one whole sBTC. Awesome. So in a few seconds, that also should be reflected in your wallet. Awesome. Cool. Over here, I've got it. So let's go ahead and go back to my contract, and let's call that mint function. So I already have my address in my clipboard, and we'll just put it on allow mode for now for simplicity. So let's go ahead and call that function. And cool. Yep. It's going to allow me to mint a new NFT and send that actual sBTC to the contract. And then in the pending column, yeah, awesome. It's done. Cool. Yep, it's in mempool right now, but yeah, I was able to mint an NFT using sBTC on the testnet, simply and easy by using the new features in Clarinet and also the new sBTC faucet in the Hiro platform. If you want maybe more information on the application that I demonstrated before with the Buy Me a Coffee application, you can head to our Hiro YouTube, where I actually have a full tutorial on building that application from scratch using Stacks.js and Vue.js, as well as there is another video that will walk through all of the actual sBTC contracts. There's 5 of them, including the ones that we've used today. Check out our video over here, which will kind of walk you through each one of those contracts and how they all kind of interrelate to one another. So, yep, this is on the Hiro YouTube page. And the videos that I've specified are over here and over here. And we have a blog article about the new sBTC support in Clarinet and in the Hiro platform. Go check this blog article out. It's on the Hiro blog section, and it will walk you through basically everything that I kind of walked through with you today. So, yeah. So, let me see if there's any questions. Yeah, I see a question. Is sBTC enabled for gas fees? Nope, not yet. You would also need to use Stacks for your gas fees. In that wallet, in that transaction that I just performed, the mint function, I already had some testnet Stacks in my wallet. So I was able to actually use that for the gas fees or transaction fees. And yeah, I don't think there is other questions. Yeah, so yeah, hopefully you all kind of learn basically the simplest way of how to use sBTC in your developer process. And then, yeah, check out those links that I've kind of shared before on the Hiro platform and on the Hiro blog over here, where you can learn more about how to use sBTC during your development process, either in your contracts or in your application building.
Cool. Thanks, Eric. That was a great workshop. Good to have one question. And just a reminder for everyone, if you've got more questions, then just jump over to the Telegram group, which is linked on the hackathon page, BUIDL Battle on DoraHacks. And we really look forward to seeing what everyone builds. Thanks for your time, Eric.
Later, guys.
Nice one. Cheers.